So the next question that comes for Ask Me Anything is, can you give an example of someone working hard and working smart at the same time? I was actually having a really interesting conversation with my videographer yesterday regarding kind of like the difference between working hard and working smart, and especially working hard and smart at the same time. Having good work ethic and working a lot of hours, or not being afraid to work, is a great thing. And I think more and more today, we're starting to see people realize that they're not going to be able to get away with less work in the entry stages of their business. So they're not going to be able to automate everything from day one. They're just going to have to kind of get to that stage at some point. When I kind of think about, someone who works hard, I think about someone who works a lot of hours, puts in a lot of effort, just kind of following what they know to do. When I think of someone who works smart, I think of someone who's thinking above and beyond what the ordinary person would do, not just on how to create a process so they don't have to work, but rather kind of looking at the next phase up. So I gave him an example around a garbage man, and I thought that it may be fitting here that perhaps we discuss that. Imagine you're a garbage man and you actually make decent money, because garbage people actually make decent money. So imagine you're making 500 bucks a day because you work 10 hours a day. You're making 50 bucks an hour, is $500 a day. That's really good money, And in some cases, you might be like, hey, I'm an expert garbage man. I've earned this money. I'm going to keep working. And every year I'll get a $10 an hour raise and it'll be fantastic. So that's the ordinary work hard mentality. Work a lot of hours, get the most you can for your hours, and then move on. Working smart at that point would not mean to just create a process so you don't have to do the work and you can still collect garbage, but rather the concept of maybe looking at, you can work more hours, right, and make more money. That's kind of being, again, working hard. That's not working smart. So if you look at, like, if you're working 10 hours a day making 500, working harder would mean you're working 15 hours a day and you're making 750 bucks instead of 500, right? So you're kind of increasing the amount of hours you work. You're not really increasing your efficiency. When I think about someone who works smart, I think about someone who then says, okay, so instead of working 15 hours a day, which is my capacity, I'm going to work 10 hours a day on this because I need to earn my money, but I'm going to work the additional 5 in figuring out how to buy a truck and perhaps earn some clients and actually be able to run my own route instead of working for this company. So the goal would be at that point to have my own truck and be able to pay other people $10 an hour instead of $50 an hour, but then collecting the main contracts from those places and being able to really take on all the trash. So for my same 10 hours a day, I would be able to go ahead and make roughly $500 an hour and pay other people the $500 a day. So by me working 10 hours and at $500 an hour, I'm able to make $5,000 versus paying the other two people $500 each, making me a profit of $4,000 without doing the initial labor work. So looking above and beyond just trading your time for money, but rather finding a way where your time no longer is needed for the money to keep coming, that's working smart. So when you're a hardworking person who works smart and combines the two, as the question was asking, you're someone who's not only able to put in the hard labor to get the job done, but you're also able to take yourself and put yourself in a position where you say, how can I double or triple my time without actually having more time than the 24 hours in a day? Because you're never going to really have more than 24 hours in a day, right? That doesn't change no matter who you are. So you have to figure out for yourself, how can you be in 3 places at the same time so you can create 60 hours in a day, even though the day only gives you 24. That's working smart and hard at the same time. From Instagram, and someone asked, is it unusual to know you want to become an entrepreneur before you have a product to sell or even know what you kind of want to be doing? And it's not unusual.